So basically, I'll be talking about guarding utterances. Now, I was following some of the trends in America as regards the markets, and some of the trends are not encouraging. Now, there are some key stakeholders in America as regards the American economy. One of them is the president of America. His name is Joe Biden. And I wrote a piece before, and I titled it "How to Be a Good President." And I actually analyzed some of Joe Biden's job functions and job descriptions. And I linked it to two basic functions. One of them is national prosperity. The other one is the national economy. National prosperity, national security. Now, national prosperity is linked to the livelihood of Americans. National prosperity is linked to the economy of America. Now, when you talk about the economy of America, the number one person that is responsible is Mr. President. Joe Biden has the capacity to influence the mood of investors. Joe Biden has the capacity to boost the morale of investors. Another key stakeholder is the U.S. Treasury Secretary. What's her name again? Her name is Janet. Now, Janet has some rules. Janet has some responsibilities. You can call it job description. Now, one of Janet's job description is to act as the principal advisor. If you don't want to call it advisor, I can call it principal advisor to the president and his cabinet. Now, she's also responsible for collecting taxes. She's also responsible for paying national bills and all of that. Now, her mission is also to maintain a strong economy. And that includes creating economic and job opportunities. The most important thing is all her moves should be heading towards the direction of economic growth and stability. Now, she made some statements, and those statements were targeted at a market, so you can call it cryptocurrency market. And the unfortunate part is that those statements affected the markets negatively. When I say the statements affected the markets negatively, I mean the markets reacted to some of those statements. Now, since Joe Biden became president of America, the markets have been responding fast. When I say fast, it's unbelievable. So it gives you an idea that Joe Biden has a secret powers to the stock markets. it gives you an idea that Joe Biden has the magic wand to the stock market. Now, after those statements, the Bitcoin or the cryptocurrency markets reacted. Now, in 2021, since Joe Biden became president, we're having a steady rally in the Bitcoin market. They've been experiencing upward trends that has been powered by the bull's run. The prices of Bitcoins have been surging upwards. It's like they have nowhere else to go but up. It's like they have no other direction to go but up. So they're having a boom in 2021. Now, the founder of Tesla, the guy's name is Elon Musk, he announced that his company was going to invest $1.5 billion in the Bitcoin. Now, the last time I was doing my calculations and I was checking, the guy had made about $600 million from his $1.5 billion investment in Bitcoin. The $600 million is actually average profit. So I sat down and asked myself, this guy made this much since Biden became president. So when you are talking about the Biden presidency, you are going to be saying, this guy became president in January. So we should be pinching ourselves so that it doesn't seem as if somebody is trying to say something that is not. So when you talk about these figures, those are the things you should be telling yourself. This guy became president in January here. Joe Biden became president towards the ending of January. So we should be pinching ourselves so that we'll be telling ourselves, damn, things are going good. The guy made the last time I did my calculation, he made $600 million from his $1.5 billion investment in Bitcoin. And he made that money in weeks. Why? Because the bulls are raging. Why? Because you are having a bullish run that is forcing prices to go up. So let's say that I've even lost count, and the guy did not just make $600 million, he made $1 billion within weeks since Joe Biden became president. So you ask yourself, somebody made $1 billion within weeks compared to the financial outlook or projections of some big companies. That's the same money they are looking for in a whole year. There are some companies, they say, this year, this is financial year, we were interested in making profit. So we're going to make 500 million profit. It's a wish. It's a wish. So we say we're going to make $300 million profit. It's a wish. You're having one guy make 600 million. So let's say it's even more than 600 million. That if we look at it again, it could be even up to 1 billion. This guy owns an electric vehicle company. The kind of profits he has made investing in Bitcoin cannot be compared with his yearly profit in his company. Go and ask him to tell you. What am I talking about? The key stakeholders should be guarding their utterances. So I've talked about the President of America as a key stakeholder. I've also talked about the U.S. Treasury Secretary as a key stakeholder. Another person is the Fed's chair. The guy is my namesake. In America, they made my namesake the Fed secretary. He's in charge of the Federal Reserve Bank. They call it Fed's chair. He's in charge of the Federal Reserve Bank in America. So these guys should be conscious. Investors, they look up to you. They're interested in investing. They have small money. Some have plenty of money, like Mr. Musk. So it's what you tell them. It's what they hear from you that they work with. Now, don't get me wrong. The U.S. Treasury Secretary is entitled to her own opinion. She can come up and say, Bitcoin is not reliable. She can come up and say, Bitcoin is not trustworthy. I get it. I share the same sentiments with her. I've written about Bitcoin a long time ago. And if you check some of the things I wrote about cryptocurrencies, I was not keen on the possibilities Bitcoin presents. Now, she needs to be alive to her responsibilities, because if the richest man in the world comes up to make statements, that's his own personal statements, because he has personal interests in his company, he has personal interests in his own shares, he has personal interests in his own long-term or short-term investment portfolios. The same thing with Bill Gates. It's okay for these guys to make statements. But when it comes to the key stakeholders, your viewpoint is supposed to be holistic. You're not supposed to be focusing on a market. It's all markets. You're focusing on stocks markets. You're focusing on commodities markets. You're focusing on all markets, including cryptocurrency. So when you are having, let me just give you an example of what the Treasury Secretary did. So when you say the key stakeholders have the capacity to influence the moods of investors, when you say the key stakeholders have the capacity to motivate investors, it's the same thing as saying a boss is not happy with an employee. Maybe he has a long history of poor service delivery. Maybe he has a lackluster approach to work. Maybe he has poor work ethic. So the boss calls the employee to his office. And what does the boss do? The boss takes the employee to the cleaners. By taking the employee to the cleaners, you are basically shredding the employee. See, I'm not impressed with you. The boss opens his mouth and he says, you have not done well. See, you're going to get a bad appraisal, poor appraisal from me. See, I'm not impressed with your work. See, you're a clown. You're not a serious person. He basically shreds the employee. What do you think that would do to the employee? When the employee leaves the boss's office, he will be downcast. When the employee leaves the boss's office, his morale will be low. That's exactly how investors are. It's the same thing with soldiers. Soldiers don't really need money in the pockets before they can go to war and fight and win. Soldiers work with high morale.